Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday, July 5th, 2023 meeting. We are recording tonight's meeting live on City of Madison YouTube channel, and as with all other meetings, we'll stand for the Lord's Prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Tevenall?
Here.
Krebs?
Here.
Schaefer?
Here.
Chatham?
Here.
Bartlett?
Here.
And Dan DiTillo?
Here.
Thank you. Council, you have the minutes before you from the meeting we had at Oak Hill Park, which I thought was a great meeting, June 20th, 2023. We'll entertain a motion to approve minutes, please, for the amendments.
I move to approve the minutes as submitted.
I'll second.
Any discussion? You know, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Moving on, we actually have a pretty light agenda tonight after extremely busy June. Hope everybody enjoyed Regatta and all of the festivities surrounding it. We will move on down the agenda, and I'll ask if there are any reports, recommendations, or other business of standing select committees of council. Hearing none. We will not have any reports tonight or bills or on second or third reading. If there's anybody here who would like to address City Council in the Mayor's office, now would be the time for public comment. Please come to the podium and introduce yourself, name and address, please, and make your statement, please.
That was fast.
This is
I did
one
not
to
have
attend.
time to get ready.
Yeah.
Okay, Debbie Veman, Walnut Street. Y'all, I love Madison. I came here for years and years and years. My kids grew up coming over here with me. When I got an opportunity to move over here, I was so happy because I just love this town. It's a beautiful town. It's just beautiful over here. It's like a movie set sometimes at Christmas time. When you walk down the street, you feel like you're in A Wonderful Life or something. I do, at least. But since I've gotten over here, I've learned a lot of different things, and some of those things are not good. That's like the houses I live next to, I'm sure you all have heard, at 709 Walnut, have been abandoned since I have lived there. The Jenkins property, I have actually found a murdered man in, and that's very disturbing. That is hard to forget about, too. I have helped drug addicts, homeless, in the backyards. They go in the backyards because these properties have been empty, and it's all down through Walnut Street. If there's an empty building, drug addicts or homeless or whoever will go in them and stay, which I can't say I blame them, but still, it doesn't feel safe, okay? And once I found the murdered guy, it was like, okay, this has got to be the last straw. They are constantly coming up and down Walnut, constantly. And somebody said, how do you know they're homeless? Well, they're carrying sacks of clothes or shopping carts full of their belongings all the time. That's kind of how you know. And plus, they just look a certain way. But that's beside the point. The point is the buildings. Now, these two buildings next to me, I can only talk about mine, but I have seen them on screen at Public Works. They have been totally abandoned. The Jenkins family has never, not once, even when that man was murdered and I found him, I thought maybe one of them would come by and say, oh, I'm sorry that happened, but nothing. You hear nothing. They do nothing. They tore up the back of the building, and it's wide open, big, huge gap, and they do have a fence there now. But I'm pretty sure kids can climb fences. And I'm telling y'all, it's a dangerous, dangerous in the back of that building. Cornerstone bought the one next to me. And I already knew ahead of time that was going to be a hot damn mess. And it has turned out to be. They're literally doing nothing over there next door to me. Nothing. One side of that house, it was going to be demolished. And then Jan V gets involved, and it's all historical and everything. And don't get me wrong, my son is director of Historical Preservation Society. I taught him these things. But you can't save everything. And I've asked Link from Cornerstone, messaged several times, what did you all find out about that place? They were going to get the wood aged, you know? And he has never, ever told me what they found out. No answers whatsoever on Cornerstone to that place next door. And I'm telling you, a nice, good, big wind might blow that over also onto my house. It's just all scary. It's scary. There are people in this town that I feel, now this is my opinion, y'all, that have had empty, abandoned, slummy buildings for so long, and they have gotten away with it with no recourse. No kind of, yeah, y'all got to get this straightened out, and we're not giving you 30 years to do it. I personally feel like these people with these properties that do not take care of them need to start being fined, need to start having liens. If you don't hit them with money, they're not going to do anything. They just don't care. They don't care about the neighborhoods. Like those people there in my neighborhood, they don't care about me finding a dead guy. They don't care about because they don't live there. They don't care. I care. I care about Walnut Street. I care about my house. I care about this town. And I'm not loaded with money or anything. And to me, the bottom line is greed. They're not made to do anything. And something needs to be done. The city tries, but the city can only do so much. I just think it's a damn shame that the city has to tell people, straighten up your yard. Make it where it's not going to fall down. Make it where there's people living in it so dead people aren't found in it. When you have an abandoned house, y'all, there is no reason for these people not to go in. It's open season with abandoned houses. Even if they're falling down, they will still go in them. Like I said, I live on Walnut. I know. I have seen it for 4 years now. And I just want to tell you all so you're aware and that something can start being done with these abandoned, falling down, scumlord places. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Well, I just want to say I understand the stress that you're put under as a resident in an area where there seems to be a larger, proliferation of blighted and abandoned and vacant buildings. And for the last 3.5 years, we have literally targeted millions of dollars toward that corridor. It is a long, lengthy process to reverse the negative impacts from 30 years of something sitting empty in a neighborhood. We've made progress. There's still progress to be made. In many instances, we don't have the policies or ordinances to deal with it, but we're investigating those. And then other instances, we're dealing with a construct of an unsafe structures statute, and then also the legal prospects or legal process when someone does not keep their property safe and maintained so that it's not a nuisance. Last year alone, we managed over 425 nuisance cases, and we identified over 100 unsafe structures. And we are going through the court system right now, as you know, on Walnut Street in Moody Park because of unsafe structures. And when you get into the court system because of property rights, everything gets bogged down. You did say something that is 100% accurate. One of the things you said was 100% accurate. It's the property owner's responsibility to maintain the property so that it doesn't become a nuisance and an unsafe structure for in a neighborhood. We firmly believe that. And I do believe you as well that the way to get the action you want is either incentives or penalties. We've concentrated very heavily on crafting the incentives and then building the organization so that we can have the right code enforcement. It's a long, lengthy process. we're making progress. It just is not a quick fix unless you really have a cooperative property owner with the means to acquire the grants or funding in order to repair the properties. But we are making progress. There's probably a dozen properties in that corridor that are beautiful now that have previously been abandoned and vacant. But I thoroughly understand the stress that it places on
It
on
does
neighborhoods.
place it on residents,
Yeah.
and I just want y'all to continue to figure out ways. If they refuse to take care of their buildings, if they refuse to do anything, and they know it's dangerous, they need to be fined. I'm telling you, I think hitting them in their wallets is the only thing that's going to face some of these people, flat out, because they don't seem to respond to anything else y'all do. Thanks.
Thank you, David. Anybody here, anyone else would like to address council or the mayor's office with public comment? Hearing none, I'll move into mayor's comments. And really it's this: June was extremely busy and successful month in many, many ways. I have a list of 9 or 10 things here to talk with you about. I won't do it just for trying to, keep the meeting brief. I would encourage the community and council alike, go to the City of Madison website, look at all of the content that's there, look at our newsletters. There's a lot of information about the projects that we're working on. It tells you exactly where they are, whether they're on the hilltop or whether they're downtown. We have dozens of great things happening across the city, and you can track it all through the projects page on the City of Madison website. And I believe we're going live tomorrow with the Crystal Beach webcam, so those who are interested in monitoring the progress of the construction of the new pool, they can go to the Crystal Beach project page on our website and link to the webcam and watch it in real time and leave it on your TV all day. Regatta, I think, was extremely successful. Our estimates are we had about 20,000 people on the riverfront plus their kids for the fireworks Saturday night, and around 8,000 people lining Main Street for the parade plus their kids on Friday night. And I think the Regatta Committee and the city and all the boat teams and everyone across the community, all the volunteers, did a really good job putting on a big festival and also responding to the weather issues. City of Madison Street Department, our public safety, law enforcement, fire they did a phenomenal job with some under very difficult circumstances, because the work of the city continued while we were also prepping and cleaning up after the parade, but also responding to emergencies during the festival. I was in the pits with Governor Holcomb, and we were talking to the firemen who were there, to respond to any potential emergencies during the regatta. And a call came in for a rescue at Clifty Falls State Park, and they had to leave. So those guys were literally still on duty 24 hours a day. Chief Washer and his team had several calls in the middle of the night. You never saw it because those guys are truly professionals. I'll leave it there. There's a lot more coming in the month of July. Our next council meeting will be Tuesday, July the 18th. And then we're also starting this week to digest, we'll have a meeting with the Army Corps of Engineers, and we'll start digesting the data from the Crooked Creek Watershed Study. I'll park it there. If anybody else has any questions, let me know. Please go to our website. You'll see a lot of information. And like I said, the next council meeting is July the 18th.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Seconded.
Any discussion?